Hi, my name is Angelina, and I did this case study on Thomas Green with Ren, and it's basically about office politics and different leadership dynamics, and it discusses the conflict issue of what happens when you clash with your boss. And just to start it off with, have you ever taken a job and realized your style just didn't match with your boss's at all? Well, that basically is what happened to Thomas Green. And in this presentation, we're going to break down what went wrong and look at a few big issues, use some leadership tools that we've learned about, and give our thoughts on how this could have gone a lot smoother.
The core problem. Yeah, so the main problem is that Thomas got promoted fast but didn't really mesh with his boss, Frank Davis. His behavior and communication style didn't align with his boss's expectations. He ignored political dynamics, failed to communicate properly, and didn't adjust to the demands of the position, which put his job at a serious risk.
When discussing strategic issues facing the company, there were two major issues. The first issue being Green and Davis had completely different work styles. Green preferred being independent and bold, while Davis wanted data and structure. The second problem being Green didn't communicate or document his strategies, so Davis saw him as unreliable. This caused Green to not recognize the importance of internal politics, especially in a high stakes leadership role.
Framework number one, SWOT analysis of Green's position. Let's break this down. The strengths. Green is confident, charismatic, and has strong client rapport. Weaknesses. He lacks experience, avoids structure, and resists feedback. Third, opportunities. Product innovation and growing sectors like hotels and rental cars. And then lastly, threats. Rapid rise of web check-in and his deteriorating relationship with leadership.
Second framework is stakeholder analysis. Thomas did not align with his most critical stakeholders. Frank Davis, his boss, being one of them, felt ignored and disrespected, while Shannon McDonald, who promoted him, watched from the sidelines. And while his coworkers and clients liked Thomas, they needed more formal communication to support his ideas. The bottom line being, he didn't build the internal alliances that he needed.
Framework number three, communication audit. Green's communication style just didn't work in this environment. He didn't update his calendar, he missed deadlines, and avoided email reports. In leadership, that's a major red flag. Davis expected consistent updates, data backed strategies, and transparency, none of which Green delivered.
So, with our conclusions, we could conclude three different things. First, being Green wasn't prepared for the strategic and political side of his role. Two, being he underestimated how important perception and politics were in leadership. And finally, three, without quick change, his job was on the line, regardless of his talent.
Now let's discuss recommendations. To turn this around, here's what Green should do. First, he needs to rebuild his trust with Davis. That means clear communication, calendar updates, and being responsive. Second, document his strategies with charts, reports, and data to show his value. And third, respond to McDonald's email with a clear professional action plan and ask for mentoring to regain her support.
What could happen next is if Green follows through, he could restore trust and keep his job and actually thrive in his role. But if he keeps resisting structure and avoids conflict, it'll likely be that he will be let go. It is a critical turning point, and he has to act fast if he chooses to stay.
And lastly, key takeaways. To wrap things up, leadership is about more than being good at your job. You need to communicate strategically, manage relationships, and adapt to your environment. Green still has the potential, but only if he's willing to grow and learn differently.